Grand Rising, good evening and good afternoon, wherever you are, fam. Much love to each and every one of you. Of course, it's always about staying beautiful and blessed. And here we are with a collective update for this full moon on October 17th, 2024. And I honestly feel like there's a lot of things going on that a lot of people aren't necessarily familiar with. I got the reel and it's not in reverse, and I want to show it to you. These are things where things come full circle in your life and you come to those profound realizations or realistic realizations about what's happening in your life and being able to navigate those things from a more conscious of the subconscious programming that is going on in the background, in the collective right now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull on this energy, see what kind of guidance tip comes up, what to look out for, what it is that you think that may or may not be important, that might be or might not. You know what I'm saying? So, we're just go ahead and pull at that first card that comes out. Two of Coins always reminds me of the balancing act. You know what I'm saying? But tools also, to me, as an intuitive reader, represent choices, right? And we have to be mindful of how grounded we are. You see how this Two of Coins, the man is working on stilts, man. That's balance, stability. That's actually practice, repetition, realistic perspective through results. You know what I'm saying? Practice makes perfect. Commitment. I know a lot of people don't like to hear this because they want a miracle. They want the magic to happen in their lives, and they don't realize that they are the very magic that they are seeking, and that is how they're going to kind of transcend their own idea of what success, what balance, stability, emotional emotional wellness is all stemmed from. Spirit is using the term health, thank you. King of Swords, how things move in rapidly into succession is what I'm also hearing here with this card. They're pointing out the sun, the kind of like, not the sun, I'm sorry. They're pointing out the sword and the brightness of the sword. And I want to just show that to you. You know what I'm saying? The brightness of the sword, the clarity that we have to be able to understand how things are actually working in our favor here. You know what I'm saying? I think it's really important for us to see those things, because when we take a more realistic, grounded approach to certain things on our lives that we're daydreaming about, or we get caught stuck in the past or kind of like suffering from in one way or another, we don't realize that the answer is always going to be in the present. So it's like, start living in the now. You know what I'm saying? Know what it's like to engage in daydreams of the futures or fallacies, things that haven't happened yet, versus the realistic approach and groundedness of the present moment. I got the Hermit card out here, you know, and I want to show you this Hermit card. It's like, dude, this is mastership. Normally he's depicted sitting on top of a mountain, but when I look at this card, I mean, this is about the magical element in you. This is about understanding that you are the balance between mind, body, and spirit, and it's your duty and responsibility to maintain that awareness within yourself at all costs. You know what I'm saying? Because panic, anxiety, fear are the latter of what consciousness represents. Even though that it's awareness, it's like, if you want growth, if you want to lean into your path or your purpose, or you want to discover what your path or purpose is, then the Hermit will benefit you from that type of self-realization through meditation or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like being fucking real with yourself. Excuse my French, because we have to see things for what they are and understand that there's kind of like a mechanical process to manifestation here in the physical. It's not comparable to what we can do in the ether. You know what I'm saying? But it's also an opportunity to understand that what you create in the ether, you can ground here into the physical and have more of a realistic perspective of what that's actually going to look like as your dream evolves here in the physical. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing to manifest that is what I'm hearing here. And the Lover's card, which to me is about relationship. But when I look at the Lover's card, what I have a tendency to look at is the relationship within oneself, because it's comparable to the relationship that people have outside of themselves. Whether it's little pieces, little bits and pieces here or there, whether you get along with Mary because Mary likes this, and then you get along with Jake because Jake likes that, and then you get along with Brittany because Brittany likes that. And you don't realize that these are all pieces, little reflections of you that are happening simultaneously, and you're also experiencing the yin and yang energy of that, of those connections, or of those realizations, or of those partnerships or relationships that you have. So when it comes to the Lover's card, to me, it's always about that mirror aspect of what a relationship actually looks like through self-reflection, through what I look like as a person, what I feel I need as a person, whether I'm suffering from something that is making me feel unpleasant about myself through the reflections of others. Is this me type of energy? You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things that we call to look out for on our path, dude. This is definitely guidance and teaching of really, really profound knowledge and wisdom that has been blessed to us by the universe. And here we are, you know, because that realistic perspective is really, really, really kind of like they're showing me all the planetary retrogrades, and really everything is like in full force. A lot of people will take retrogrades as some type of, pulling away from, where I look at retrogrades as amping up. You know what I'm saying? Twice the size type, twice the size is the prize when you have a retrograde, is what Spirit is saying here. So, we have to come to that conclusion of everything is going to be at 1,000 or 100, or nothing less than this very, very kind of like chariot intense energy, things coming through, moving real quick, Eight of Wands type of energy, that these things are all happening fast, but it's our ability to understand that we are beyond time and slow these things down, so that way we could see them and make the conscious choices properly as everything intensifies, right? So, when it comes to those things, we have a tendency to literally kind of like, excuse me, to, kind of reevaluate the lover's card as some type of relationship. And I believe that, it's something that I've said many times before, is like, if you're sitting there judging the quality of relationship with another, then maybe you should start checking whether you should examine the quality of relationship that you actually have with yourself. Because there's many aspects to the way that you can look at this. You can look at this as, wait a minute, I am a spirit in a body, and you could look at it from that perspective, or you could be more kind of like grounded, realistic perspective, where you see it's like, well, if the universe basically, and this is the law of the universe, is the universe matches my energy, then what's in my energy. And this is where you ask for the reveal, you know what I'm saying? And then you go on that mission, but you ask that to show you what the pureness of your heart is, you know what I'm saying, where you're at, and you have an ability to kind of like ask God, ask creator, source, oneness, universe, whichever way, to show you what you really are versus what you really aren't, And so when it comes to that relationship space, there's a little bit of process that you understand that takes a little bit of responsibility from us and accountability to sit with ourselves and actually reanalyze the relationship that we have with ourselves. Kind of like, do I really love myself, or do I really love something more than I love myself? When I say, do I love myself, do I feel the same amount of passion and heart based, kind of like heart based emotion? Do I feel something in my chest, or does I feel a resistance? So these type of self-reflections come out with these kind of cards, then that's kind of like the perspective that I utilize to see these things. So one last card here is what they're saying, you know what I'm saying? This is always a balance of the masculine, feminine, the divine energies within you, the divine mother, father energy, whichever way you want to look at it, source, creator, God, you know, it's a balance between hemispheres, because you have to understand that, from the perspective of God, God created women and man equal. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, wait a minute, not only does it say that we're all equal, but you also to understand that there's equal parts and influences inside of you and your Akash and your energy and your DNA that come from this motherfucker, the program, or for the creator itself. And that's kind of like part of that diabolical process of discovering yourself and understanding your self-worth and what that actually means versus the human realistic aspect of what things are. So when you look at those things, it's just something to keep in the back of your mind. It's not something that you should overwhelm yourself with. You know what I'm saying? This is all about perspective. This is kind of like that intuitive perception that we all have, that we engage in one way or another, and we help and train ourselves and train our bodies to be more one with the soul, with the creator, with ourselves. So Salah, this is a very beautiful message. And I know I said that I had one card for all you beautiful people out there, and we're just going to get into it. I know I got a little deep into that lover's card, but that's what happens, man. We go off on a tangent, and Spirit will just come through, and then we'll just start talking about the reflection or the energy or what it is that looks like. So enjoy the ride, fam. This is very deep in depth perspective. I am a Pisces, you know what I'm saying? Not that I'm beating my chest with it, but I'm just highly intuitive, and I go into the depths a lot of what things actually mean, etymology for example. I'm just like I'm that type of person that really likes to dig deep for things, not only when I want to understand something, but when I'm kind of like caught up in my head, I'm actually learning. I'm not necessarily in a daydream where, other things are happening and I just want to separate myself or disassociate in one way or another. I don't do that anymore. I actually look at the fact that I am a very deep, in-depth person, and I'm a very deep thinker, and I'm deeply intuitive, and I'm deeply connected, as a bridge between spirit and the human perspective, or whichever way you want to look at that. You know what I'm saying? So without talking too much about it right now, Six of Wands, victory. You know what I'm saying? We're all victorious simultaneously, whether we want to really realize it or not. It's all about perspective of seeing the blessings in your life versus the failures, you know? So it's kind of like, for all you people out there that are looking for another way to be grateful, you know what I'm saying, that are working on their compassion. Am I a compassionate person, or am I just giving myself a guilt trip? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel a certain type of way with this victory card. You know what I'm saying? With this victory space, I feel like a lot of people are kind of like owning up to their own stuff. Let's just put it that way. And let's see what happens this week. Let's see what it is that you change within yourself to decide that what type of way you want to start looking at life, and reevaluating all these situations with this new energy. Now that things have come full circle here, the full moon has passed, is what I need to add to that. I'm saying, a lot of King of Swords energy, a lot of air, a lot of mental out in the ether and stuff like that, man. So stay grounded, fam. And remember that you're just trudging the road to happy destiny just like everybody else. And the struggle is mental, it's not real. Salah. Much love to each and every one of you. Stay beautiful and blessed, fam. Take care. Peace.